Do you actually know what happens inside your senior dog's brain the moment they hesitate for just a second before stepping onto the kitchen tile? You see a dog that's slowing down. You see a dog that sleeps a bit more, moves a bit more stiffly, and maybe doesn't jump onto the sofa with the same fire they had 3 years ago. You tell yourself they're just getting old. You might even call it winter laziness. But behind those graying muzzles and soulful eyes, there is a silent biological struggle happening that most owners miss until the damage is already done. While your dog might seem fine, their internal systems might be quietly screaming for adjustments that most owners never think to make. For a senior dog, a slippery floor isn't just a surface, it's a neurological trap. A cold meal isn't just food, it's a metabolic tax. Today we are diving into the psychology of senior dog support. We're going inside the evolutionary mask that forces dogs to hide their pain, the moisture gap that strains aging kidneys, and the simple 2-minute habits that can turn an old dog into a comfortable, bonded companion once again. If you keep overlooking the silent rules of the senior years, you might never experience the deepest level of connection your dog is ready to give you in their final chapter. 1. The evolutionary mask. Why they suffer in silence. To understand why your senior dog doesn't cry out when their joints ache, we have to look at what they were designed to do. In the wild, showing pain is not a request for help, it's a biological liability. Predators, from wolves to the cats discussed in our sources, are hardwired to mask discomfort to avoid becoming a target. Your dog is running ancient software. They will eat normally, walk normally, and wag their tail even when their hips are burning with inflammation. They aren't being stubborn. They are protecting themselves from a world they still perceive as dangerous. This is what behaviorists call the silent sufferer syndrome. Because it happens gradually, we assume the lack of movement is a personality shift. Oh, he's just mellowing out. But in many cases, that mellowing is actually withdrawal due to chronic pain. They are choosing to move less because every step costs them more than they can afford to pay. When we realize that our dog's laziness is actually environmental exhaustion, we stop being frustrated and start being the safe base they desperately need. 2. The traction gap. Your floor is a battlefield. Think about the environment your dog navigates every day. In the sources, we discuss how the environment isn't separate from the problem. It is the problem. For a senior dog with arthritis, your beautiful hardwood or tile floors are essentially sheets of ice. Every time their paws slide just a few millimeters, their muscles have to fire in a frantic microcorrection to keep them upright. This creates a state of chronic low-level stress. Imagine spending your entire day walking on a frozen lake. Eventually, your muscles would lock up, and your brain would enter a state of vigilant rest. You might notice your dog pacing at the edge of a rug or avoiding certain rooms entirely. They aren't being difficult, they are scared. They have mapped your home through a lens of physical risk. To heal this, we apply the N+1 rule of traction. Don't just have one rug, have a continuous path of runners that connect their safe zones, their bed, their food, and the door. By providing islands of grip, you are restoring their physical autonomy, allowing them to move without the constant fear of a splay injury. Before we jump into the warm meal secret, there is one specific sound your dog makes at night that most owners think is cute, dreaming, but it might actually be a cry for a medical intervention. I'll uncover that at the end of this video. For now, hit that like button and subscribe. It's the best way to help more owners catch these silent signals before it's too late. 3. The moisture and warmth gap. Internal hydration. Why does your senior dog's diet matter more in the winter? As dogs age, their thirst drive often becomes even less reliable, mirroring the desert animal biology of cats. If you are feeding exclusively dry kibble, which contains only about 10% moisture, your senior dog is likely living in a state of chronic dehydration. During the colder months, we crank up the heat, which pulls moisture from your dog's skin, nose, and lungs. This invisible loss of hydration thickens their blood and strains their aging kidneys. But here is the 2-minute fix. Serve their meals warm. Adding warm water to their food does 2 things. First, it unlocks the scent of the fats, making the meal more appealing to a dog whose senses might be fading. Second, and most importantly, warmth is a form of emotional time travel. It mimics the maternal care they received as puppies, triggering a release of oxytocin that bonds them to you and lowers their stress levels. Warmth is medicine for an aging system. It improves circulation and ensures that the body doesn't have to waste precious energy heating up cold food just to digest it. 4. Vocal identity, regulating the pain with sound. How do you talk to a dog that is hurting? Most owners use a normal adult voice, but science shows this is the least effective way to communicate safety. A 2022 study found that pets are significantly more alert and engaged when their owners use short, soft, and slightly higher-pitched phrases. This is what we call your vocal identity. For a senior dog, your voice acts as an invisible layer of safety. When your dog is struggling to stand up or hesitating at the stairs, don't use a command voice. That adds pressure. Instead, use low-energy narration. Simply talk to them softly while they move. Good boy, you're doing so well. Take your time. This calm, rhythmic sound tells their amygdala that even though their body feels unpredictable, their safe base, you, is stable. You are literally regulating their nervous system through sound, allowing them to focus on their movement rather than their fear. 5. The N+1 of mobility, choices therapy. One of the biggest mistakes we make with senior dogs is taking away their choice. We pick them up when they look stuck or we pull them toward the door because we're in a hurry. But in the animal world, control is the ultimate currency. When you pick a dog up without warning, you are taking away their autonomy and often triggering a stress response because their paws are leaving the safe ground. Instead, the greatest act of love is letting them walk away or find their own path. Apply the N+1 rule for resting spots. If you have one senior dog, you need at least 2 orthopedic beds in different rooms. This gives them the power to choose their environment based on the temperature or the noise level of the house. Additionally, create heightened spaces. In our sources, we talk about how height equals safety. While a senior dog can't jump, you can provide ramps or cleared low shelves that allow them to survey their territory without the pain of a vertical leap. When a dog feels in control of their space, their chronic stress markers drop, which can actually reduce the perception of pain. 6. The deep sigh ritual, reading the recovery. How do you know if your adjustments are working? You have to watch for the slow blink and the deep sigh. In the feline world, a slow blink is the cat kiss, a sign of complete surrender and trust. Dogs have a similar ritual. When they settle into their safe zone and let out a long, vibrating sigh that makes their whole body soften, they are telling you that they have finally exited survival mode. This is the goal of senior support. We aren't just managing arthritis, we are protecting the bond. When a dog is in pain, they might stop greeting you at the door or start hiding in corners. They aren't being moody, they are protecting their sleep from a world that keeps interrupting it. By respecting their safe zones, providing traction, and using your safe voice, you are proving to them that they don't have to hide their vulnerability anymore. You are reclaiming the puppy that is still inside that aging body. Conclusion: the architect of comfort. The next time you see your senior dog sleeping in a new spot, don't ignore it. That shift in pattern is a whisper, a communication that something in their world has changed. Your dog has spent their entire life being your bodyguard and your secure base. Now it's your turn to be theirs. You aren't just an owner, you are the architect of their comfort. If this video changed the way you're going to look at your lazy dog tonight, tell me in the comments. How old is your best friend and what's their favorite rug in the house? And if you want to know what it means when your dog tries to claim your seat the moment you stand up, check out our video on scent mixing right here. Because to your dog, you aren't just a human. You are their entire world and they just want to know you're looking out for them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.